Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Orlando, and we have a good one for you today, guys. We have a landlord saying that his tenant is a lady of the night. That's how I'm going to phrase it. We're gonna learn some stuff about, what you can say and what you can't say when it comes to your tenants and evicting them for a reason that seems a little bit personal. Let's jump into it.
Plaintiff Ansel Carpenter rented a room in his home to the defendant, but he claims she turned out to be a prostitute, and he has the text messages to prove it. Ansel is suing his former tenant for 2 months of rent, late fees, and utilities.
Okay, guys, here's the thing. You have to have solid evidence before you go and accuse a tenant of being a prostitute or a lady of the night. You have to make sure that you have all your bases covered. You have to have pictures, all this. You doggone near basically have to be the police to prove something as high of an allegation as what he's saying, especially if you're trying to use this to get back paid rent or whatever else. Who knows what else this guy did? But let's continue on with the video.
Defendant Divine McDuffie insists Ansel's claims are false, and she has never worked as a prostitute in her life. Divine is countersuing because she claims Ansel broke into her room with a sledgehammer and destroyed her property.
Ooh, this is what I'm talking about. There's always two sides to a story. So he broke into her unit with a sledgehammer, but he's saying that she was a lady of the night also. Who's gonna be wrong in this one? I'm just gonna be honest, guys. You guys gotta understand tenant rights, right? Landlord-tenant laws, you have to understand this. And this is the reason why, if you don't understand this, property management is for you.
Start with you, sir.
Okay, Divine here is a former tenant of mine.
Did you all know each other before?
No,
Okay.
she was referred by another tenant.
All right.
So she's not a very good tenant. It came to my attention via her roommates that she was prostituting out of
How
her
long
bedroom.
after
That is
she
a
moved
lie.
in? Hold on, ma'am. How long after moving in that you determined she wasn't a good tenant?
This guy starts off the whole scenario wrong, talking about, so where did you hear this from? Oh, I heard it from her roommates. Her roommates told me that she was a lady of the night, that she was a that's where I heard it from. What? That's not evidence. That's hearsay, all types of stuff, right? Like, that's not hard evidence. What are you talking about, man?
Almost 2 months after she had
Okay.
moved
She moved in when?
Let's see. The lease agreement right here says June 11th.
All right. So June 11th moved in, and by August you determined she wasn't a good tenant,
Yeah, August 2nd.
and that was based on the allegations or the rumors that you heard?
No, it actually started because she felt like she was being charged too much for her bedroom.
So he says, oh, though that's not the reason. It's because she was being charged too much for her bedroom. And so let's just give a little bit of light on this, guys. This is the reason why I try to explain to people when it comes to everyone doing this house hacking when it comes to rooms. Now, you have to be ready for doing room house hacking, where you're gonna take a house that has 3 bedrooms and then rent out each room for a price. Can you make a killing? Yes, but you're having individuals stay in rooms that have different personalities. They're all sharing a kitchen. Some of them are sharing bathrooms. What do you think is gonna happen with that? And in some instances, the landlord is staying in the unit with the tenants. It's nothing but explosions that are gonna happen when some type of disagreement, and there will be a disagreement between you as a landlord and that person as tenant, or 3 different types of tenants staying in one house. You don't think there's gonna be any type of disagreement? There will. And that disagreement will turn into something and snowball into something that will turn into fires, destruction of property, flooding, people not paying rent because of the other tenant. It turns into a nightmare. Be careful with those things.
Let's get back to this prostitution inflammatory allegation you're making here. That's very inflammatory. I see why you're getting sued for emotional distress. It should be defamation unless you can have
Look at her
some
face.
reasonable cause to say that. Where do you get this information from? Is it a rumor or?
No, it's not a rumor. Like, her roommates said that there was several men coming in and out of the apartment.
Wow. like the judge just said, you're going to come to court and you're going to throw those type of allegations at this lady here. And you're going to say, she's this, she's that. And then when you say, hey, where's the proof? You go, well, her roommate said, look, this is the reason why people who aren't mentally there and are going to take things very, very personal. It is important that if you are that type of person where you know you can get triggered off of something that a tenant is going to do and it's going to take you off on the deep end, get property management. Have someone in the middle that will handle this stuff for you.
It's a 3-bedroom unit, so they said there would be several men waiting in the living room while they're like cooking breakfast or whatever.
ma'am.
And there
what?
would be other men in her bedroom. And then one man leave the bedroom, and then another one go from the living room into her bedroom, and it was just a revolving door regularly.
Okay, that could be that she's a freak.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That make her a prostitute. She may be a freak.
Judge Mathis is crazy, man. He said, oh, yeah. I mean, what does that mean? That don't mean that she, a lady of the night. She just can just be having fun. Judge Mathis is crazy. But he's so right about that. You can't, again, go ahead throwing out all these things, saying that she's this and she's that, have no proof of it, and then everything is hearsay, and then say, oh, well, her friend said that, guys were coming. That sounds like a regular teenager having your friends over, all types of things. You can't say that when you have no proof. As a landlord, guys, you can be some regular Joe Schmo, say whatever you want, right? But as a landlord and you got a tenant, you're going to get yourself in some trouble like that.
I thought
You're a
so.
freak or prostitute? Just kidding. I'm just messing. I'm not kidding. I'm just.
Judge Mathis was wrong about that. She asked her, you look at her face, like if I freeze frame her face, how she was just like, what? Am I supposed to answer that? I'm not answering that.
I'm just using an example of how can you conclude, or she could be a loose. I'm just saying the options. There are many other options. She could be a loose woman. She could be a gambler, and they come in there and they lose their money real quick because they think she's a woman and they can beat her, and she could be a scammer.
Judge Mathis going down this whole rabbit hole saying that she could be a gambler, she could be all this other stuff. But that is true, though. She could be anything, right? But you're gonna come out and say that she's, that she's out here, doing her thing, right, for money. You got to be able to prove that, landlord. You can't just be out here accusing tenants. Once again, underneath a landlord-tenant law, you cannot just go around and accusing tenants of that. We're not just talking about just regular, talking or whatever. We're talking about underneath the law of tenant rights. You just can't do that, guys. It's not good business. It's not good anything. You're going to lose if you go to court and it's proven that you did say something like that, which it's proven because he's saying he did say that. Don't touch it, guys. Don't touch stuff like this at all. Let property management handle it.
Counselor? Counseling with them? She could be in the ministry. She could reading the Bible when they come in.
Yeah.
You might be in trouble, but she didn't sue you for that, but you better be careful with that.
In regards to the prostitution, I actually have proof right here, page 2 and 3.
Uh-oh. You have proof. Mm-hmm. All right. So you saw somebody spend some money with her? Because prostitution is an exchange of money.
Right. You'll see text messages.
You see right there, Judge Mathis gave him a clue of what prostitution was underneath the law. The exchange of money for that act. And what does the guy say? Oh yeah, I got proof. I have proof. And that proof is text messages. Bruh. The judge just told you the definition of what proof would look like. And you say, I have text messages. You're lost, man. He's giving you exactly what you need to prove that she was this. That's what he's giving you. He is not listening, and he is like, oh, no, I got the proof, when he has no proof. It's still obvious that he has no proof. But hey, let's listen and see what he has. Let's just go ahead and listen.
I texted her from a friend's phone, posing as a John, basically. I texted her, hey, can I see you tonight? She says yes. I responded, I'll call okay. She responded, I'm only doing in-calls tonight, hun. I replied, okay, can we do 9? She says, sure. I asked, what are your rates? She says, $150 an hour for full service. I responded, that's fine.
So this guy went and acted like he wanted her services, and they're sending text messages back to each other, and he's using that as proof. Does that sound like a landlord would do that? Why would a landlord go through all of that to prove to get what? He's suing for 2 months rent? He went through all of that for 2 months rent, guys. Don't be like this guy. Instead of going through all of that, why didn't you just take your issues to the police? The police would have solved it for you real quick. They would have solved it for you real quick. Sir, you don't have a case. We don't have no proof.
You want to say anything to that?
Yeah, he just completely falsified evidence, and I'm 100% sure you're not allowed to do that. Like, that's why he wanted
lying?
to. Huh?
Why are you lying?
I'm not lying. Why would anybody? Okay. Why would anybody? If I get a number, if I get a text message from a random number, mind you, I do YouTube, like social media, Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. If anybody has my, what?
You do that as a hobby.
Regardless if she does it for a hobby or not, what she's trying to say is that she has a lot of people on social media, blah, 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 and she has a lot of interaction. So for her to get a random text message from someone, I'm guessing she's saying that she wouldn't answer because she's so used to getting random messages from people. But that's neither here or there, guys. If she was or if she isn't, it is not the landlord's job to determine if she was a lady of the night, if she was doing those type of things, if she was engaging in those acts and trying to figure out a way to prove that she was engaging into those acts. That's not his job. His job is to rent to her, and that's it. So long she's upholding and paying rent, then hey, good. If she's not paying rent, then that's what you go after her for. You don't go after her for because you think she's this or that and the other. It's very hard to prove, and to be honest with you, that should be something that you're not concerned with. Is your property being taken care of? Is your rent being paid? Is it causing disturbances to your other tenants? No? Any of that happening? No? Okay, well then you're good. That's what a landlord should be focused on. Not this. This is just too much craziness back and forth. Once again, if you had someone in the middle of this, you wouldn't have to take stuff like this personal.
Get paid.
No, you don't.
I do like prank videos, vlogs. I do like trips, eating, stuff like that.
She tricks,
And
all right.
you're saying that you don't. This wasn't something that you did?
No, that's a complete lie. He's lying. And a matter of fact, I changed my number shortly after.
Right. Okay.
Everyone.
You have any other evidence?
No, sir.
Judge Mathis is like, okay, so that's not gonna work. Do you have any more evidence? And this guy's like, nah, I don't have anything. That was my shot. That was my shot to prove, to get my rent, and to that's the reason why I did what I did, evicting her. That's the reason, because she was doing all that illegal stuff. That he could have just went to the police if that was the case and he had a lot of proof, but he did it.
Now let's move on. What do you want to say she said to you on August 2nd?
On August 2nd, she wasn't pleased with the rate that she was paying, even though she had already signed a lease agreement, which is on page 1.
When did these texts come, by the way?
August 6th.
Okay.
Before
August
she
2nd.
changed her number for the
Pardon
record.
me?
Before she changed her
All right,
record.
August 6th.
For the record.
So August, and that's when when did you find out?
I found out August 2nd that she was tricking us.
Okay, August 2nd. Okay, and this happens to be the same day that she comes to you with a complaint, huh? Mm-hmm. The same day. Mm-hmm. All right, that's when you suddenly determined she's a prostitute. Move on. Ooh. She came to you and said she was dissatisfied with what?
The rate that she was paying.
Okay, and what did you tell her?
I told her the time to negotiate was prior to her signing a contract.
I agree.
Okay. So we find out through the timeline here. What Judge Mathis is saying is that the real reason why he put her out was because she inquired about being dissatisfied with the amount of rent that she was paying. Now, that's the real reason why he came out with this allegation that she was a lady of the night, that she was doing all these type of acts for money. It's not because of that. That's not the reason why he got rid of her. He got rid of her because she was questioning the rent that she was getting paid. But here's the thing, guys, I want you guys to understand, is tenants will always question a rent increase. Tenants will always question, can I find some place cheaper or whatever? That's just the name of the game. You have to create value to your tenants. Let them know that you're not just letting the property go down, right? You're always fixing things, that the place that they're living will be safe. All those things, right? If you apply those type of values to your properties, then you will have no problem with tenants. Also, you will not have problems with rental increases for the most part. Some tenants will always have an issue with rent increases, and there's just nothing you can do about that. It's just part of the game.
And I called him and I asked him again, does everyone with the unit pay the same price? He says yes. So I tell him that I actually know a tenant that is actually renting with you now and has been paying $850, and they were actually paying $800 and you raised it to $850. Whole while you're charging me $995. That very much upset him. He immediately started calling me out my name and started arguing with me. So the day I brought that up to him, though, he came and sledgehammered my door in because he got mad that I even asked him the question.
Wow, okay. So now it's starting to really make sense. So the tenant asked the landlord,
hey, look, I'm unhappy with the rent that I'm being charged because I am comparing my rent to everyone else's, and my rent is higher.
The guy ends up getting mad and goes in and says, you need to get out, destroys her door, breaks open her door, and does whatever else. I'm guessing he went in there and threw all her stuff out or something like that. But that is the reason why, not because he thought that she was out here doing things for money, putting her tenants, his property at risk and his tenants at risk. It wasn't that the case at all. It was just the fact that she was trying to get her rent dropped down to equal. Now, I don't know why he got mad about that, because the point is, if she signed a lease, that's the rent that she has to pay. I'm pretty sure all the time tenants will go speaking to one another to figure out what each of them are paying in rent, but that doesn't bother me. You know why? Because they're going to have to pay it regardless. That is an agreement that we agreed upon. You thought it was fair. I thought it was fair. We both agreed on it. It's done. That's just the way it goes.
Okay, so August 2nd, I never told him that I was not going to pay him. I never said I wasn't going to pay him that price before he came into my room and sledgehammered my door, threw all my stuff into trash bags, put my cat in a cage, and destroyed my bed frame and destroyed all my property that was in my room. The same day that I asked.
You cannot go into a tenant's property unannounced, for one. You have to give at least 24 hours. Each state is different. My state, 24 hours notice, let them know I'm coming in, do the. You for sure cannot go into a tenant's unit, destroy their stuff, use a sledgehammer to break in and destroy your own property for one, and then go in there and take and destroy all of their property. That is a no-no. That is a lawsuit that you're gonna lose automatically, because those are just basic tenant rights. Landlord and tenant laws, you cannot do that.
First, you're suing for August and September?
Yeah, the rent, utilities, and the late fees, yeah.
All right, and when did she move?
When did she move out?
Yes.
September
7th,
something like that, yeah.
Okay, and she had not paid August rent?
Or September, no.
Okay, and is that true? You did not pay August or September rent?
No, sir. My door was broken into. I didn't even sleep there. I was just
Yeah, that
worried about
occurred
getting my
August
stuff.
2nd, so.
Right.
All right.
Not only did he lie on the lady saying that she was doing this and this, and his motive was totally different than what he said in court, but then he broke into her unit, messed up all of her stuff, and she is saying that I did not pay rent because, she didn't go back because he messed up all her stuff, which is very understandable, right? A tenant not going back because maybe they're afraid, or a tenant not going back because you did break the lease, right? You're not providing a place for them to safely live, right? And when I say safely, you are the one who went in there, broke up the apartment, did this, messed up their property. Your lease will become null and void. And I can say that you could probably go to any court and you will lose that, guys.
And so we can get back now to the allegations that you broke down the door, she says, with a hammer or a sledgehammer or something.
Sledgehammer, yes.
Destroyed her property. What do you want to say to that?
Lies?
Okay, so you didn't do anything
No,
in
sir.
retaliation?
No, sir.
All right, and you never entered her room without her permission?
Correct.
All right, and do you have any evidence that he did?
Yeah, so I have,
Once again, I expected him to say no. He didn't do any of that. He's not dumb, right? He understands that was overboard and I shouldn't have done that, and I will lose automatically if I did it. But here's the thing. she is going to pull out, I can guarantee you, pictures, all types of stuff showing that he did this. So he came with no evidence other than hearsay, right? And she's coming with pictures, videos, all types of stuff.
Text messages that my roommate actually sent him.
Wow, that's ridiculous. This is you talking the other? Okay, so we could get locked out again, you say. I'm sure it was to lock you out. And you say, yeah, that's crazy. She says, scary. He told me he would kill someone over $500. You ever tell anyone that?
No.
Okay.
Look at the guy's face. Does that look like he's telling the truth? Probably not. This guy has already showed that he's mentally not there. He takes a lot of things personal. So with that being said, did he say I would harm this person or harm someone because of $500? It may have happened. I don't know, right? But here's the thing. There's evidence of a witness saying that he did say that, all the other things. I don't know. If someone breaks into my house with a sledgehammer, I would think that they're willing to come in to try to harm me. I mean, that's just obvious, right? You break my door open, you're probably trying to come in to harm me.
I don't believe the witness who is a tenant would lie.
She's
She
not.
lives there. When you live there, you're a tenant, sir. That's why you don't know landlord-tenant law. Anybody that lives with you, they are a tenant. Watch when you try to put them out without 30 days notice, even if they don't pay you a dime, zero. If you stay there a significant amount of time, you are a tenant. Learn landlord-tenant law, and you won't get hit with a $5,000 judgment.
He going in, right? Judge Mathis going in. But he's right. If you don't know tenant landlord law, why are you guys doing landlording? If you don't know your laws in your locale, right? In your state, if you don't know any of that, why are you being a landlord if you don't know that if you do this, the tenant doesn't have to pay rent? If you know this, and this it's discrimination. If you do this, and this, it equals out to this happening. Like, you have to know what things tenants can do, can't do, what you can do, what you can't do as a landlord. If you don't know this, you'll end up like this guy. This guy is accusing this young lady of being all types of things. He breaks down her door with a sledgehammer. And then he says, well, it's because of XYZ that I did this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter based underneath tenant rights and landlord and tenant law. Like I said, guys, you take stuff this personal, don't get into landlording. Don't get into owning property, because if you take this stuff personal, it will eat you alive mentally.
Your claim is dismissed. Yours $5,000 granted for everything she said, she has evidence of, she has a witness statement of, and she has video of. Learn landlord tenant, mister, before you go into the business.
Hey guys, learn landlord tenant laws. It is so important. And once again, if you don't want to take time to do this, right? You don't want to take time to learn this, put property management in there. Someone who knows this stuff in and out. That is the reason why I myself use property management, because do I want to know every single law that has to do with tenants, landlords, all this other stuff? Not really. I mean, that's the reason why I hire property management to deal with all of that. They handle all the interaction between the tenants. They just let me know what's going on when it comes to my money and making sure and crunching the numbers and expenses and all that other stuff, and who is going into my unit based on certain criteria and background checks. That stuff matters to me. All of the little pettiness between tenants and making sure you can do this and that and the other legally, that's their job. So make sure you have someone in the middle dealing with that stuff. But let's go ahead and finish off the rest of this video here. And this is what happened at the end with these guys.
You look like a Sasquatch and you're a liar. You need to find another job.
You always insult the way I look. I don't give a
You're a prostitute,
You're a
and I don't
hooker.
care. You need a therapist.
You're welcome. You got $5,000 off of me.
And like she said, regardless of what happened at the end, it really did seem like these two had some type of, maybe they had some type of relationship and they just didn't say it in the show or whatnot. But regardless of the fact, guys, make sure when you're going to do these type of properties, these rent-a-rooms and all that other stuff, Airbnbs, that you make sure that it's the right type of business when it comes to real estate investing for you. But once again, I hope you got value out of this content. I'm gonna need you to watch this next video here. It will help you get into your first rental property and learn all things financial. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.